Well, welcome to the Overachieving Shit Show. I am your host, Dr. Kate Rodriguez. And as a disclaimer, I am a therapist, but I am not your therapist, at least not right now. This is just for entertainment and educational purposes only. So today I have my first family law attorney in the house. I have Roxy Johnson. I am so excited to have you.
I'm so excited.
We actually gave a speech earlier today. So this happened really fast. We gave a speech to a group of high school leadership students, and we were like, oh my God, that would be a great podcast. Can you come over in a few hours? When are you done? And now you're here. So thank you and welcome.
Thanks for having me. This morning was so much fun.
It
It was
was.
so much fun.
It was. And it was like, we only put one to sleep.
Yeah.
I think I only used one
It
curse
was a
word.
light snore.
It was a very peaceful snore. And I like that instead of getting offended, we both started talking quieter,
Let him take his nap.
right? And speaking of naps, you just took a nap before you
I
came.
did. I was like, this is eating into nap time right now,
Okay. Well, thank
which
you.
is a necessity at the end of the day.
I can't imagine. But my question about your nap, though, is you had heels on.
Yes.
You sleep in your heels.
Yes.
Just like,
I have to be ready to get up and run.
all right.
I don't know what's walking through the door.
Okay, so today we had talked about relationships and how a lot of them can ruin your life. It was funny because when I told my husband that topic, he was like, "Why are you so negative?" And I was like, "Well, what I want people to understand is that we all can make these decisions, and what me and you see with a lot of our cases is where they make the decision to stay in a very unhealthy situation or sacrifice themselves instead of making this decision to leave. I know there's some situations where they can't leave, but there's many times where they made decisions that got them into these really ugly fights.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what I was thinking. What were
Well, definitely. I mean, like we were telling the kids, it's, you get yourself into almost like a comfort zone, right? This is more of where I'm comfortable as opposed to what is healthy for me and what makes me happy. And, people don't know how to use that communication skill to really address their issues.
mm-hmm.
So I mean, I would think a lot of divorces that we have actually stem from communication
Apps.
and boundaries and just also kind of regrets, feeling held back for a long time and wanting more and never getting more.
Yes. Yes. Because they never, a lot of times, don't say that they want more.
Right.
You are a single mom, and I'm sure there are many times where you could have been like, oh, poor me, I can't do anything, but you chose differently.
I mean, you always have to choose that. Really, every day that you wake up, you have to choose, I'm going to do good today. I'm going to do good things. I'm going to be the best me. That's hard to do a lot, because you're tired and your bills are stacking up and the baby's crying, right? It's hard to do to wake up and say, okay, I'm going to put that in the back burner and I'm going to walk out and do the best me, because that's what makes me happy internally.
Yeah. And that's tough. And, I love that you and your partner Celeste over there get shirts made. Can
Yes,
you
we
tell
do.
us about your shirts?
So it originally kind of started as a joke. It was winter and, our paralegal at the time, Audrey, she made me a shirt and it says divorce him on it, right? And I just wore it out in public and didn't think twice. But I couldn't go anywhere without makeup and my hair done because people are like, "Can I take a picture? That's so funny. Can I take a picture? Can I take a picture?" And I'm like, "Looking like this? No." So we had a meeting at the office and I'm like, well, let's dive into it. People like it. Let's try it. And we bought a couple shirts at first. And now that they're everywhere and we have koozies and we have shirts, they're all over the place and people recognize me as you're the divorce him, right? And I'm like, That's right. I'm the divorce him.
But I love it because it's not like y'all are always advocating for just anybody to divorce. It's
Mhm.
like if you're in a bad situation, you've been thinking about it, you've been trying, and you need that extra little push.
Here's your sign.
We're here. I think it's hilarious though. Those shirts are great.
And we have divorce her.
Yes, you made
We
it
do have
include.
divorce her. But, as much as women are more entertained by it, men really kind of aren't.
Mhm.
They're just like, "No, that's still, like, touche." I don't
Too
know.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So men are not, even though they pushed me to do it,
They
they
don't
aren't as
actually
funny
wear
about
'em.
it.
That
Yeah.
is funny. And speaking of upsetting men,
My pastime.
so many times I'm the parent facilitator, where my job is to get them to co-parent, or I'm a counselor, and so I've had to testify many times in your cases, and there was a time where there was somebody who said some really ugly things about you, about me, about all of us involved, and I was thinking, how do you handle, because 'cause I'm sure this happens all the time. How do you let those negative things where it's like, "Oh, your lawyer's a bitch. Your lawyer's a man hater. Your lawyer is just whatever." Y'all get told so many things.
You wear it like your crown. I mean, that's what I'm supposed to be when I'm in a courtroom. I love negotiating. We talked about that earlier. Primary part of my job is negotiating. We're working with people and families and kids, and I don't want parents in a courtroom fighting, saying horrible things about and to each other, and then they can't get over it. Once it's out of the box, it's out there, right?
Yes.
So, but when I'm in a courtroom, that's my badge of honor, you know? Like, she's an actual bitch. Lately, I've had 2 cases where they've threatened, "I'm gonna go to the news about this. I am going to make all these calls, and I'm this," and I said, "I would love for you to go to the news.
Make
That's a
just
great
make sure I have my hair
advertisement.
done.
Let's go to the news."
Yeah.
But, I mean, you wear it as your badge of honor. I mean, because really, when I'm in there and I take cases that I believe in, I don't just fight just to fight,
Mm,
right? Because like I said, it's families and I've seen firsthand how that tears kids up, right?
mhm.
As a single mom and I did custody and all the stuff, right? And it's hard on a kid. It's very hard. And my daughter now, she's 19. So now she's able to talk to me about, "Hey, I remember these things. I
Ugh,
remember the police. I remember these things." And you think that they're not watching and internalizing it, but they are.
absolutely.
They see it all. Doesn't matter how you cover it up. I would tell her, "Well, the police are mommy's friends, and they're gonna go pick you up from daddy's house. It's fine." And so she got a little older and thought, "Those are not your friends."
They might have been.
They would sometimes.
At the time, you were a probation officer, right?
I was. So some of them were my friends, and that was a little embarrassing, but,
Got over it.
but I mean, you see how it affects kids,
Yeah.
and how she felt so torn. And I want to be here and I want to be there, but everything is a fight, and that was hard for her. And I think the older that she gets and the more open that we get about it, that it makes what I do more important because I don't fight just to fight. I'm not going to stick a client up there just to be ugly,
Mhm.
right? And just to, you know, have the platform to say the deep, dark secret that they weren't gonna
Yeah.
tell, because they'll tell me everything they did in the bedroom, every little freaky thing you like to do,
Mhm.
all your little dirty secrets. He does this with the taxes, right? So, you
I know
know
I sat with an auditor one time and I was just like, "Oh my god, it'd be so fun if we weren't bound by confidentiality." Like, can you imagine the accountants in town and, oh,
Mhm. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
the accountants, the family law attorneys, and the counselors, like, all of us just sit there. And it's sad because we do know so many of the different ways that they use these different maneuvers. They
Mhm.
use the money against you. They use the kids, and so many times people get so blinded in these custody battles and divorces that they're not thinking about how this truly affects the kids.
Right, right. I mean, and we get that a lot. I'll spend whatever I can outspend you because I make more than you, so I'm going to outspend you, right? And the hard part is that is kind of part of what the game is, right?
Yeah.
But then there's also like, a lot of lawyers who will do, okay, as long as you can make payments, as long as you do this, as long as you can keep up, where you help me with your research, right? Because that's going to eat up, some of the fees and that's on you and that's not me.
Yeah, I've always appreciated that with y'all because I know that there are a lot of attorneys in town that as long as you have the money, they're gonna keep
Hmm.
drag it out, and it makes me really sad.
Yeah. Yeah. I
'Cause
mean,
I'm like, oh, like we said earlier, like a whole college fund.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I just finished a case where the attorneys are probably going to get more than the client, to be
Gosh.
honest. In all the settlements and all the things, the attorneys will end up with more money, and is that really worth it? Is it
Mhm.
really worth it to have lost everything you worked for all these years to, I mean,
Fight.
yeah, to buy your lawyer a pool?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, no, and I think that's you having gone through it and seeing your daughter go through it probably helps you with the fight. It, like, gives you that fight,
Hmm.
but also you know that the system's super fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. You know when to let off the gas. I think that's what the difference is you kind of know when to let off the
Mhm,
gas and say, you know, this is not worth that money. This is not worth that fight. Think of your kids' health. Think of their relationship with both of you,
mhm.
because if you destroy your kids' mental health and the relationship with their parents, that's something that money's not going to buy back. You know,
Yeah.
you really have to think, what did I do to my child? And now we have this strained relationship over litigation.
Yeah, I had one recently that I said, "Okay, you wanna take her back to court to possibly make your kids go visit you for 2 more years,
Mhm.
and what do you think that's gonna do to your relationship with the kids
Mhm.
after? Once they're 18, like,
Mhm.
I hope that's it. You're not gonna because you forced them or you treated them this way or used them as pawns and they
Yeah.
can see it."
Yeah. Yeah.
So, with family law attorneys, y'all are badass, but I'm sure y'all lose sometimes.
Never.
When it doesn't go the way that you feel is best for the family, is it really hard?
Robert, not
Is
funny.
that my brother?
That's your brother.
Let's just keep it there.
Just,
So then it's just gonna fall over again.
but is it really hard to not take that home?
Um,
Are you thinking,
yeah,
Rob?
I'm thinking of like Robert's haunting you right now.
Yes.
I know I'm
Okay.
He's like, I know I just commented on his
Okay, for the listeners out there, Roxy was very good friends with my brother who passed away years ago, but I put a picture of him to stare at her from where she's sitting and someone thinks fall. We're just gonna blame my brother, Robert.
Absolutely.
I literally
It was
put it there
100%
to
him.
mess with you, and I did not do that though.
Yeah. He would do this to me.
He would. It was so funny on my wedding, totally off topic, but at my wedding, it was 2 years after he had died, and right before the ceremony was this beautiful rainbow. And then later during the ceremony, it poured rain, but for like 10 minutes. But it was
Mhm.
enough to freak everybody out and mess up a lot of stuff, right? Just poured, but 10 minutes. And the next day, people were like, and I really think that that rainbow was your brother smiling down. I was like, absolutely fucking not. Robert was the rain. My grandpa was the rainbow. He wouldn't have been like,
He was
let's make things
absolute
pretty.
chaos. He was absolute chaos. That's why I love him. But, he could bring some chaos. I don't believe he was the rain, but I believe he's the rain. And
Thank
he's
you.
like, that's so funny.
Everybody who was like, no, he was the rainbow. I was like, you didn't know. Even earlier, we were cleaning up I found a box that was his
Oh my
desk.
gosh.
It was
Mhm.
like the box from his desk,
Oh,
like when they cleaned it out.
yeah.
There's a couple Playboys, there's some notes, and then there's just random pictures of women. Nothing nasty, just pictures that girls signed and gave him. Ones that he kept for years. Some were from high school, and they were all in his desk. I'm like, well, I guess she was special. Good for you, Robert.
Oh my god, I remember his services, and the women were, "Oh my god, oh my god," like, so many of them, so many, and I'm like, "Dear Lord, Robert, like, you couldn't behave for 5 minutes. You really couldn't."
I was still his wingman that day when people were coming up to be like, I'm so sorry for your loss. He always said I was the one, or he always hoped that we would get married. I'm like, he told me, oh, yes. And then me and my dad, were like, how many people did
They were all the one.
good for them?
He did have a way to make you feel special. That
Yes.
he always did, always did.
And, okay, so I thought of it when we were talking earlier about failure
Mhm.
and how, like, when you fail, you have to just, like, keep going. And my brother was the king of that. I mean, he failed out of 3 colleges. He barely made it through law school, but he always stayed so positive when it came to those things. And so I feel like that is kind of how he got you through the bar. Can you tell that
Yeah.
story?
So, when I was taking, the bar exam, I was like, "I don't know." And it's COVID, and, they're trying this whole new system, and it was absolute chaos. Of course, it would be me that the chaos is happening to. And, I'm sitting there like, "I didn't I didn't do oil and gas. I didn't look at it at all. I don't know." So I'm skimming, and I'm like, "Robert, if there was ever a day in your life you're gonna help me, today's gonna be the day because I didn't do oil and gas."
Okay, so after my brother came in and destroyed our technology. Okay, so you're taking the bar in a tiny little room with lunch at the door,
Yeah.
and there's oil and gas.
And I'm like, "Robert, if you ever want to help me in my life, I didn't do oil and gas. Please, please, please help me get through this." Um, and I basically wrote it as, like, water? I don't know. I got as close as I could, right? And when I passed, I'm like, "Okay, Robert, you did it again, thank you." And sometimes when we have chaos in court, it just makes me think of him, because he was absolutely chaotic,
Yeah.
in the best ways.
Yeah, he was a good example of an overachieving shit show
Yes.
that makes us all feel better.
Mhm.
No, and I love that because I think that talking to those who have passed, no matter what people's beliefs are, I feel it really can help you, even if it's just thinking of those happy memories, imagining. Sometimes I'm in court, I'm like, okay, imagine what would Renee say? Like, what would my
Mhm.
dad tell me to do in this
Mhm.
moment? Because thinking of all the people I've looked up to throughout my life, none of them had it all together,
No.
and none of them really pretended to have it all together. I think that's what I like in a mentor.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what also drew me to Robert so much was he seemed to have it together, but he didn't, and he was
Those pastel
yeah,
shirts.
he would admit his faults. He'd be like, "I did that,"
Yeah,
and it was perfectly fine. And it was one of those like, "You're gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine. We're all gonna be fine, right?"
yeah.
I mean, you just the faster you accept, okay, I'm gonna fail sometimes, but I'm not gonna let it eat me. I'm just gonna go. Right.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people, when it comes to burnout and mental health and all these things, so many people get so hard on themselves
Mm-hmm.
about the failures and the losses and not knowing what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure it's very easy to get lost in all that kind of chaos in family law.
Well, I mean, you have your cases where it didn't go what you wanted it, and it's hard because when I take a case, I believe in my client. I believe in, structuring families to work, and to maybe you're not best friends, but you can communicate as much as possible.
Yeah.
And so when things kind of blow up, um, we have had cases where someone passed or committed suicide,
Mm.
and because the stress of litigation and going through it and losing your family is a lot,
It's
you know?
devastating, yeah.
And if the times that that has happened, I think I've had 2 or 3 that, committed suicide during a case, and you just know how they felt, and it is heavy, it
Yeah.
can be really, really heavy, and, those are the days I go home and I talk to my daughter and I'm like, "Okay, days can always be worse, don't take it so hard because that person didn't know that they had me to lean on," you
Yeah.
know? And, I mean, there's always gonna be the tough day. There's always gonna be that tough day, but you you don't focus on it too much. You just say, "Okay, next time, what changes?" You know?
Yeah.
Next time, do I push it to litigation? Next time, do I bring it back? If I see my client struggling, do I need to focus more on negotiation and know that we're gonna have to give some things up to save your mental health, you know?
Absolutely.
Mhm,
That is hard. I've never really thought about that with cases.
mhm,
I always think of like counselors having somebody, a client that commits suicide, but I didn't really think about it from y'all's point of view. That's
mhm.
really interesting.
Yeah, the stress of litigation in almost every case is basically unbearable, and I know you know a lot of my clients, and you know how hard that is,
Yeah.
and they come in, and they're crying, and they're desperate, and their world is falling apart, and I know what that felt like, I tell clients all the time, "I sat in your chair not that long ago," and it was a long time ago, but I sat in that chair, I cried that cry. My lawyer did not know what to do with me. He was a man, bless his heart, and I'm sitting there bawling in his office, like my whole world is falling apart, and I'm gonna have to do custody and get a divorce and help me. And he says, "Do you need a beer or something?"
Oh, was my dad your lawyer?
And I'm like, "We
Oh,
could start
goodness.
with a Kleenex." You know? But, I mean, to each their own. After a long mediation or a really, really tough one where I'm like, come on, if we could just get here, if we can just get here." I will promise my client, like, I have a nice bar in my office, and if we get there, you can choose a drink to, like, calm your nerves as soon as you sign
Yeah.
that paper and it's done and you feel that, like, relief
Hmm.
off your back, you know?
Absolutely. What are some of the uh, biggest meltdowns that you feel you've seen from like from in family law? Obviously we don't want to name them. We could
I'm gonna
if you want to.
no.
Okay. I was like, okay, go for it. I can imagine because okay, I from my point of view, I see a lot of family law attorneys who really like drink the Kool-Aid of their client and believe
Yeah,
everything that they say. And then there's the other ones who are like, okay, I believe in my client's case, but I know that they are not perfect.
right.
I understand. Like I've had to call you and be like, hey, dude, your client's a problem.
Yeah,
And you're like, okay, I'll
mhm,
listen.
yeah,
But like, I'm sure the ones that completely are like, my client is the only one, this is how and they take it very personal. I'm sure
mhm.
those meltdowns are bigger.
Oh, huge, huge. We I almost feel bad saying it because fairly recently there was a lawyer, and I just think she was unprepared I think she listened into her client too much. She bought the Kool-Aid and she believed this is straightforward. It's XYZ. That's what we're gonna do, right? Um, it was a 6-day trial
Oh my
and
gosh.
she walked in with 2 binders. 2. We walked in with boxes and boxes and boxes. The minute she saw that, you could see the sheer panic of, I'm suddenly not prepared. I don't know what this is. I don't know what they have. My client obviously did not tell me some things,
Yeah.
right? Because he was hopping lawyer to lawyer to lawyer, and, I mean,
Oh, I was on this one.
yeah, and I felt bad, I felt bad because I think she just bought it. it.
Yeah.
She bought it and she's like, this is straightforward. This is what it is. Not realizing maybe you should reach out. Maybe you should try to negotiate first, see where everybody's at.
Mhm.
That kind of gauges where your trial is going to be,
Yeah.
and meltdown went meltdown.
I bet. So, how do you feel when it's creeping up? When you feel like, "Oh, man, I'm about to crash and burn. I really need to take care of myself." What are some of your signs?
um, my staff, I'm notorious for not taking time off. I almost never take time off. It For me to take a day off in a month is like, oh, she took a day off. I cleaned my house. I didn't go anywhere. But, the first thing that starts going is that, like, I immediately start getting sick. I lose my voice at least 3 or 4 times a year.
Oh, me too.
And that's the first sign of like, "Oh, you're doing too much again.
Oh, so your
Doing too
body
much."
tells you.
Mhm. Yeah, it will start shutting down on me, and there goes my voice. I was looking back at some emails, with a client, and we're kinda going back and forth, and I was like, "My client's not gonna believe me because every, like, 2 or 3 months, I'm like, 'I'm sorry I lost my voice.'"
But
But I did.
I think, so many people don't pay attention to the body. The body, if you're not gonna consciously listen t then your body's like, "Oh, yeah, bitch. I'm
Mhm.
shutting you down. We need to
You're going
reset."
nowhere.
Yeah. So you need to take time off.
Mhm. I do. I
You got better?
I'm trying.
Okay.
I'm scheduling a vacation. So, big step for me
Good for
because
you.
I never do that. I have been with Celeste, the law office of Celeste Robertson, for 6 years, and I've only once taken a complete week off of work, but I took it off to do a jury trial in a criminal case. So I just took a week off my regular job
To do
to do
another.
another
Okay,
job.
so that does not count,
No.
just in case you needed a professional opinion. Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
hilarious. Does Celeste ever tell you?
Yeah, she'll tell me like, "Okay, let's take we try to sneak off after court sometimes. The staff having our location is the biggest problem because then they say, "Mm-mm, you're not at court. You said you were in court. You're not in court." Well, we were in court, and then we snuck off.
You gotta just
We just took a
find
mental
a
health
bush
day for
outside.
the rest.
Find a bush to hide your phone in. No, that's really funny because I can't wait to one day have Celeste here because I
Oh, yeah.
do feel like she is one of the queen. Like, she has that overachieving shit show
Oh,
crown.
definitely. She is chaos, absolute chaos, and it
I think she used to hang out up here back when it was my dad's
probably
lounge.
I mean, she's absolute chaos in the best ways,
Yes, absolutely.
and it's a little bit of we are yin and yang, right? She's a free floating spirit, and I am more like, "Can we know the rule?" And she wants to break it.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a friend that knew her from when her kids were in school, and he said, "She's gonna get me in jail one day." Because every time she starts getting in trouble at the sports games, soccer, cussing out the parents and the ref, and "Don't talk to my kid that way," right? And she would say, "You, come here," like, back
Like to
up.
bring him in.
Yeah, like, back up, like,
Yeah.
and the dad is like, "No, I will go to jail.
Yeah.
I'm a big guy. I'm not doing that."
Um, One other question I wanted to ask, because earlier we talked about boundaries and
Mhm.
we were talking about how, like, a lot of leaders can sometimes set boundary or like help other people with their business, but we have to set boundaries for ourselves. One of the things that popped in my head earlier was like, we have something similar because people pay to talk to us.
Yeah.
right? And so it's real easy for people, all different parts of our lives, to call and just want something real quick.
Mhm.
Or like, can you just give me a few seconds? What should I do in this case? Or can you give me advice? Like, I know people do it for me, and sometimes I don't mind. Sometimes I'm in a great place, and sure, yesterday I'm sitting at the beach and my kid watching my kids surf for the first time, and I didn't even look at it. I just answered, and I was like, oh, and then it was a 30-minute conversation about a custody case, right?
Mhm.
How do you set those boundaries?
I mean, that's probably one of the hardest things to do because people have your cell phone, your emails online, they see you at the store.
Oh,
Like
I
you said,
cannot go to
the
HP.
divorce him, hey, you, I have a question. It's always
It's like, I'm just trying to get a cucumber.
yeah, like,
I'm trying to pick out some fruit. I don't want to talk
don't
about
look
this.
in my basket.
Hiding the wine.
Yeah. The other ones just fell in by accident.
Yeah.
But, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And you have to balance it a little bit because I realize that not everybody can afford it,
For sure.
and sometimes it is a question. And I'll say, you know what? You can go online and get resources. Let me tell you how to do that. Right.
Yeah.
And that's good enough most of the time, a lot of times. I mean, of course, they wanna know more, and,
Hmm.
you say, "Well, I can't be in your case, so I can't give you advice, but I can tell you these are some forms that would be helpful. Read this article,"
Yeah.
right? And kinda send them off in the right direction, and, if they come back and say, "You know what? That was really helpful, and I scraped together some money," great, right? And
Yeah.
if not, then, they go off and I hope that they're successful in their case and whatever they came up with and whatever they need, but sometimes it's just pointing them in the right direction because
Yeah. That's kind of
I
what I
can't
do.
do it all. And clients too. I just had to tell my client the other day, I don't work 24 hours a day. You can't call me at 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night and expect me to answer the phone. I
Ooh, especially right before a school break. I don't know how y'all do it, because I will just check out,
Uh-huh.
and then when I get back, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, everybody," the Friday before Christmas break, it's
Mhm.
like everybody's like, "Wait, but does my time start at 6 o'clock, or does it start when the kid gets out? Because the kid got out early," and I'm just like, I always feel for y'all. Or
Oh,
during
yeah.
COVID when there were no rules.
Yeah. Yeah. You I mean, I try to tell my clients, "Do you really need the difference between 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock? I mean, at that point, this is petty. It's not worth your energy.
Mhm.
Don't do it. We'll address it on Monday. I'm not the police. I can't do anything. But, we'll figure it out on Monday and
Yeah.
make our little note. And when we go to trial, we're gonna make a big deal of that, right? But for today, is it worth your energy to fight for 2 hours?
And the kid.
Mhm.
Yeah, like, do
Yeah.
you need to have the
Yeah.
kids,
And
see the police show up and drag you out of the car?
mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah, another big part of this was you said the baby of 9
Yes.
and the first to go to college, and
Mm,
I wanna end with a little bit of that because I think so many people out there don't take the chance because nobody else around them has ever done that. Nobody else has gone to law school in my family, so why
mhm.
can I? Nobody else has ever started a podcast. Why should I? Or like, whatever it may be. And
Mhm.
so like what do you say to that?
I think just listen to your inside, that push, that drive. Um, I have a big family and they called me crazy. They were like, "You're completely insane."
Because you're the baby, right?
Yes,
Okay.
"You're completely insane. We don't know what's wrong with you. What are you doing? You're moving across the world," and it was just East Texas, right?
Yeah.
Because it was
Oh, because
just
you're from Alice.
I'm from Alice,
Okay.
just a coyote.
Yeah. I love that.
But, it felt it to I can understand in their shoes how it looked
Mhm.
crazy. You're just gonna up, leave your family, you don't know what to do, right? How are you gonna live? I didn't know the answers either, But I don't know. People figure it out, right?
Other people did
I think somebody there will help me. I don't
it.
know. But, you have to listen to that inside and say, "Okay, jump," and I used to say that about law school. Um, I had to give everything up to go. I had to give everything up. I'm selling things off. I'm getting rid of things because I can't really afford it, and I have to move to Houston. I don't know what to do, right? But I'm trying to make it happen, right? And when people would ask me about it, I say, "I don't know. Sometimes you just jump,
See what happens.
see what happens." I mean, what's the worst? Uh, of course, that I would have to admit that I failed, right? And come back, but I'm not hurt.
Just make a funny story out of it.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
I went on an adventure. I don't know, I think it drives you to do better,
Yeah,
but sometimes you just got to jump. You have to know that it's there and know that you trust yourself a
for
little
sure.
bit to say, it's there. I think I can do it. I want to do it. Let's go.
And I think you also said earlier about finding the people that will push you to do it. Like you said, Judge Klein had really pushed you. And I think a lot of people are really bad about taking compliments or thinking that everybody else is saying they're like, oh, they're just saying that to be nice. But you had people who said you can do it. You need to go to law school,
Yeah.
and you believed them,
Mm.
and you did it.
Yeah. I mean, it took that push because again, I put that limitation on myself of I don't know that I could do that. I don't know that I'm smart enough. I don't know that how do you get money for that? How do you even apply? I don't even know what to do. You know, I'm going straight into like doctorate program. What am I doing? Right? But it was surrounding myself with people who wanted to believe in me as much as I believed in me. And they said, I will help you do whatever. My friends around me were like, if you need a place to stay, if you need a home cooked meal, we're there. We're supporting you. Let's go.
And
Right.
like actually accepting that
Hmm. Hmm.
is a big deal. I think so many people don't because they're like, I got to do it by myself.
Oh gosh. I mean, I think I had that in me for a long time. And that's where all the excuses came from why I didn't go to law school earlier,
Yeah.
"Oh, but my daughter. Oh, but my career. Oh, but this. Oh, but I'm married. Oh, I've got a divorce." There's a endless amount of excuses, no matter how many people
Yeah.
told me. I had an excuse for it all.
Yeah.
And then when Judge Klein said, "We're gonna sit down, we're gonna do this right now. You're gonna do it in front of me." And I'm like, "Okay, what is she gonna know? They're gonna say no, and I don't have to I did it, right?"
Hmm.
And it just kept working because it was supposed to,
Yeah.
you know? And just having those people around you that are, "Okay, let's go. I'm gonna push you to your limit
Yeah.
because you need to."
No, that's amazing. It's amazing because yeah, I think sometimes we don't believe in ourselves. Well, since my brother liked to mess everything up, I'll end with a little part about him because you just said the doctorate. It was when I first started, and he said, "So everyone's gonna call you doctor?" I said, "Yeah," and he's like, "I want people to call me doctor." He's like, "I want a doctorate."
I have a doctorate.
He he had graduated from law school years before that, and he's like, "Well, I want a doctorate too," and my dad was just like, "Just wait." Like, we just all stood, nobody saying anything, and he's going on and on about how he wants a doctorate like me, and I'm just like, "Does he not?" I was like, "You have a freaking doctorate." And he was like, "Dude, no, I don't. I went to law school."
So, did you ever read the diploma?
I went and I got his diploma and I put it in his face. And he's like, "Well, then how come nobody calls me doctor?" That was all he said.
Oh gosh,
I
he was
know.
such fun.
Well, Roxy, thank you so much for being here.
Oh,
I really appreciate it. And coming up all the stairs. And I know we don't have our situation totally together, but you know what? It goes on brand.
I know, it does. An actual shit show